push your limits. Fancy, probably old English writing or something like that. So I want to share with you today a few updates. We have moved and updated the website. I'm going to share my screen here. Okay, so if you don't know about Biddles Group, Biddles Investment Group, BIG, uh, what we do is we have a path, right? So choose your path. We want to make sure that we master our money. Then we want to make sure that once we've mastered our money, we start to invest our money. So we want to become a money master, an investment icon, and then we want to grow and scale and create multiple streams of income. That's going to create independence and freedom for you, your time, your family, etc. And so what we've done is we've created a mantra here. And if you would repeat it with me, it's this is my path to wealth. I have the clarity to see it, the confidence to walk it, and the courage to build it. I will master my money. I will invest with wisdom. I will grow my business with purpose. I am building wealth that lasts for myself, my family, my community. Today, I take one step closer to the life I envision. Okay, so that's the mantra there. Um, what I was doing today, this is going to be a chart work special. I want to show you a trade that I've recently made. So I was in VKTX. I want to show something here. What we did, usually what my strategy is, you see to the left, this is a weekly chart. On the right, that's a daily chart. My strategy is a cup pattern. I usually like the cup pattern when the moving averages have crossed over. And we'll take an example of that, a recent trade that I was in that I didn't get the whole game, but we got some. So we see usually what will happen are these shelves will become built. And so this is one shelf here, but it's not mature yet. So this is kind of a baby. So this was a little bit riskier. It's a little chance that I took. Um, and so let me put me up here in case you can't see me, not sure. But this was a little chance that I took. And so what I noticed on every cup pattern, and we can pull another one up. So I have a grid here with all cup patterns. So we've got this inside information. You want access, go to the website, subscribe, Biddles Group. We can try to give you access to that. But what I do is I monitor all of these patterns. Some might be cups, most are cups, some might be support resistance, good price plays, etc. So we monitor these patterns, and so we'll pull one up. Let's do ABR. Let's see what that's looking like. We're gonna revert back, but this is a little coaching. So this one isn't mature yet either. Let's see here. Let's do Burlington. Burlington is probably more mature. All right. Yes, Burlington is a little bit more mature. Oh yeah, definitely. So when you get into a cup, you want this moving average crossover or this pinch. Once you get that pinch, or every moving average starts to sit on top of each other. So what I have here, that 9-day is the red, the green is the 21. So we saw the red 9 cross 21. The purple is the 50 and the gray is the 200. And so we want them stacked on top of each other. We want 9, 21, 50, 200. Sometimes they'll be mixed. Now, if we zoom in on the daily, you can clearly see that we had about 2 pinches. So we've got one pinch here, moving average, crossover, and we see what happens with the stock if we get into that. Usually, that price will come back down. You might get it re-entry. Now, in this case, it didn't come all the way down to where I would have preferred it, but it did come down, give you opportunity to get in there that day, and then it shot on up. And then this is our exit. Once it crosses over these 9-day, and then it dropped below the 200, it's an exit. So that's our exit price. Or if you have a stop loss that's less than, this is not a good measurement. Give me 1 second. You had a less than a stop loss maybe at 4%. You see this is 5%. And so you'd got out of that trade. And then we re-enter that trade. Now this is a fake out a little bit, but the 9 didn't cross the 21. We see that. So it's not ready. Boom, failed. When it did, we did miss all of this here. So, well, we got a 9 21-day cross here, and then a 9 50-day cross here, and then it finally crossed the 200. So this could have been an early indication here. We might have got in here, got those gains, uh, but you could start to scale here, and long as everything tracks right, fantastic. But this is a mature cup. I want to show you how to get in there. Then what I want to show you is the different levels. So there's different shelves on a cup. And this cup isn't that great of a cup, but well, yeah, it'll work. So if you see here, we've got support resistance. And so we see the price set at support. Usually you'll get that price again, which we did get it these 3 weeks in a row. We got that 177 price. And so we set a low limit order here, part of our strategy, set a low limit order, let that thing trigger. Maybe it picks up one share. If we're confident in the pattern, like this pattern's a little jagged, there are much cleaner patterns. This one goes range bound. So you can see this range here and then this range here. Um, and I'll redraw this. We can clean these charts up a little bit. This is just a parallel channel for education. And then these little boxes are just range boxes. Where's the price at? Where does it have to break through to continue an uptrend? And so that's what that line is. That's what these lines are. They're not quite support resistance lines, but they're price action lines or price action support resistance. So in keeping with the theme, we see when the price jumps to a different shelf. So we can count this is one shelf, two shelf, three shelf. When the price jumps to the third shelf, we see it starts to set a support at 233. Can we get back in at 233? We set a low limit. Yes, we might have to wait a while, but when we see the chart uh, pulling back or downtrending, that's when we want to place our one share order, let that thing trigger. We know that's a solid support level. We know we're in a cup pattern. We know the moving averages are or were positive at one point in time. They kind of got a little scattered here. I see the red. Yeah, it crossed over right here. So if we'd have got in somewhere around here, we'd have bounced around, or we could have taken, we could have just played this. So let's see what that is. That's an 8% gain. You could just get in, get out every week for weeks at a time. Excuse me, get that 8% gain. Now, once we take off in the cup pattern, you see we took off, we hit resistance, and we're starting to bounce back here. I would expect this possibly to go to 340. Everything in the market goes well, retail goes well, consumer discretionary and staples continue to trend well. Um, then I would see that I think this would has the opportunity to go to 340. So if we go back here to VKTX, what I wanted to show you was how the shelves build. And so that wasn't a great chart. And let's go back here. Let's see if we can pull up AMD. That's probably a really good chart. Yeah, this is perfect. So you can see here that you'll get one or two opportunities to get back in that trade. And I'll try to keep this video short and I'll explain that detail and we'll do another video for you. But if we make this larger on the daily, we can see these are like stair steps. So if we clear this out a little bit, we'll clear some of this out. So this is a pennant. You can see that's a pennant, and either the stock is going to bust to one side or the other. So if you get something like that, a little squeeze, I think Tesla is in a squeeze. We'll take a look at it. But this one happened to bust to the top side. So as it did that, we create shelves. So this is what I mean by shelves or stair steps. This is one stair step area. This is another stair step area. This is another stair step area. We pay attention to gaps too. Gaps do close. And so sometimes they'll scare me off because I don't want that gap to close, or they can give you a good price point. So you see these stairs, usually in these stair steps, you'll get another opportunity to get that support price or that prior resistance price, right? So if we're doing this real time, let's move the chart over. So we're doing this real time. We'll say we're trying to catch it, you know, and let's say we tried to catch it at 112, but it was too late. You see right here, it didn't hit 112. We saw it jump up, and now it's out of that 112 level. So we'll say, hey, prior resistance was 121. Let's see if it'll hit that 121. Nope, didn't. Jumped up, prior prior resistance 133. Now you did get an opportunity here at 133. We close that up a little bit, tighten this price action. So I did it very loosely just to give you a demonstration. But you can see, hey, that's it's not exactly the top of the gap. We got to make that a little smaller. So these circles represent gaps in the chart. Gaps in the chart usually feel, they can feel fast, they can feel slow, but they usually feel. So if we take this over, we can see prior support, or the prior high was about 132. So what I like to do is that green candle, I like to get in probably a little low right there, 134. So I set a low limit at 134. We see it's coming back, and then it would have triggered right here. Boom. And now we're in that equity. We know previous support levels, so we can set, either you can set your 3 to 5% trailing stop or a dollar amount trailing stop, get you right out of there. Or we can say, hey, this thing dropped to previous support 124. I'm out of there. That seems like a wide range, but let's see how big that is. So that's a 7% range. So if you're not comfortable with 7%, maybe do 5%. But it did not fall 5% from our triggered low limit order. So this probably would have been a bad day in the market, pull back potentially, or a bad sector day, pull back, triggered that order, and then now we're off to the races. Unless we get a 5% day fluctuation, we're still in the trade. Unless any of these bars are 5%, we're in the trade. So that one's close. So we could have got bumped out that day, but remember, we entered here. This is our entry. We entered there. Mark that green. That's where we got in because it triggered for us. And then we get to ride this all the way up. Now, sometimes cups break. Sometimes we'll come back to the resistance level. So this one just happened to be a very good, clean chart. Look at that. It's a beautiful V-shape cup. And it's not done yet. So we see 227 to the upside. It'll probably hit 202 AMD from 174. And if you say, hey, that's not going to hit 202, check out Reddit. Reddit went from 140 to 220 in a matter of days. So we take a look at the daily, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 days. I played the 140 range because I saw it was hitting 140 consistently. And there's about an 8% upside here. So I measured that out. I said, hey, what is that? So that's about 8 to 10%. So if I can catch that 140, grab me 8 to 10%, possibly. So I was able to grab about 5, maybe 6. And then I got out of the trade. I did not get the rest of this here, but an option play probably would have been beneficial for that. Um, so this is how I use cut patterns. You can see the cut patterns, and then just to explain how I track it. So everybody should have an investment journal. So weekly, what I do is, of course, we go to our dashboard on our website, Investor IQ dashboard. We've got all your tools here. You can scan, analyze, and then what we're doing is we're executing. And so this is an execution video. You can see we've got live data, live dashboards. And so with this dashboard is going to load the data, what's happening in the market right now. And so what we can see here is we see the top companies trending, most momentum. Okay, you can go to what the chart pattern looks like, cup pattern, descending triangle, ascending triangle. You can zoom into the sector. So I'll show you how I use this briefly. So right now, if we just take a look, all of these are hot stocks. We can zoom in here. Let's look at GigaCloud GCT. We'll say, Brandon, that's not a hot stock. We'll say, hey, look at it. That is a hot stock. Look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful. We got a nice cut pattern. We got a moving average crossover. This looks right. This looks really right. This looks good. I'm going to have to add this to my list. So what I do is, uh, we'll bring this over to right there. We'll bring this over to here. This is nice. We still have to evaluate risk, average true range, how volatile this thing is. We don't know. So there are still some, for right now, looks decent. We want to undo that. It's not what I want it to do. I want it to turn this one red. Okay. We can make this one. This is how you're just changing the pattern, the cup, you know. So this looks pretty good. Looks like it's got momentum. We're sitting here at a resistance point. This thing has to break through, but we've got this positive moving average crossover way down here. Right here. We got that moving average crossover. We'll make that green. And we can zoom that in. If you see, moving averages are these lines here, these lines that you see, and we see all of them pinched together right in here. So you see that 9-day above the 21-day, crossed above the 200 and above the 50. So the 200 happens to be above the 50. Kind of a sign. And there happens to be a gap in the chart. So if this thing pulled back, 22 would be in sight. But it's got momentum. We saw the VKTX chart, or I'm sorry, the Reddit chart had a bunch of gaps on the way up because it just had that momentum. You can see that gap right there. So if we go back, I would add this GCT. And so if I explain this to you, this is like my journal. So going back to the journal, this is how I track all the securities. So what we have is the name of the security, the sector, the ticker. What pattern am I looking at? So that's a cup pattern. What's the price and what's my entry? So I'll look at the chart. I'll determine a low limit entry, place that in here. And then what are my exits? So I have an exit plan. If this thing hits this price or this price or this price, I'm getting out of there. And then what this color coding over here shows me how far is it from my entry. So I have an entry of 925 on AGNC. AGNC is a real estate investment trust. The price is 945. So I'm about 0.11% away from my entry. How far am I away from exit number one? I'm 9%. So if my low limit at 925 triggers, then I might can get 9% on exit number one if this thing reaches $10.12, 15% on exit number two. You do have to determine your risk tolerance because if it's not wide enough, you might not get all of those gains. Similar to what I did with Reddit. My risk tolerance wasn't wide enough or did not take into consideration the volatility. I just saw it was a good support resistance play. I knew it was a cup pattern and that it would fill out, but I just wanted to get that support resistance. And then we have notes over here. So what I'm going to do is go through all these securities. I won't do that with you, but I'm going to update the notes. So I did VKTX today, and you can see that. So low limit triggered at 31.85. This thing went to $37. It led to a nice gain. Prices hitting resistance at 39. I think we might go back to 32 to 36, depending on by analyzing the chart. And so I updated my entry and limit order to 36. But when I re-looked at it, I said, hey, I want to get another low limit Maybe it'll trigger, maybe it won't, but low limits, some of them trigger. So I did 32. We'll watch the price action. I might raise that, but if I can get 32, it's much better than 36. That's the $4, if I got in at 36 and it went to 32, I'm automatically out of that trade. $4, that's more than a 10% loss there on this price stop. So that's a little bit about journaling. So what did we learn today? We learned that we can go here, we can look for cup patterns, or we can look for equities or stocks or ETFs that have momentum. Um, and we can use our trading view chart right here. We could have put GCT right in here, right on the same page, right here on the same page. You can see that cup filled out, that smaller cup, and then we have a larger cup. Boom. Got to zoom into the chart. And then we've got news right here, top stories. We've got the index price action. We've got active gainers, losers. And if you want a glimpse into our Wealth Builders Collective community, you can replay some of the market action. And if you want to go historically, you can kind of see historically where we were, what we've been saying, and what has actually happened from June 14th to August 2nd. I could post more if you enjoy these. So these are AI summaries. So don't be put off by the voice. The whole entire meeting is about 2 to 3 hours. If you want access to that, we do partner with Mike Peer Money. And so you can definitely get access to that if you want that. So this is very cool. You just go in there, play the video. You'll get insights from our Saturday session. And if you want to sign up, you just go to one of our solutions. You'll hit Wealth Builders Collective, and you'll go straight into Powered by My Career Money and Biddles Group. You'll go straight into the page where you can join and sign up. So every Saturday at 10 a.m. What we also learned is we can use this screener here. We can grab our stocks with momentum, and then we evaluate them in our journal. We have to go through here and review them. And then we place our trades. So these are some current positions right here that I have. Dell, 252, 7% gain. MDT, 4% gain. The rest of them, CSIQ call, 7% gain. So long as the market does well, great. We've got a 404% gain, 3%, only 14,000 invested here. So that's not even the entire account. We've got, if we calculate that out, that's about 25% of the account invested in the market. So 75% of my account is in cash. And then this 25% is in the market, still giving me the returns that I would get on 75%. And I can show you this one trade that closed, the VKTX trade, real quick, gave me a nice gain, 337, in a matter of a few days. So VKTX, that's why I wish I would have did an option on that. Would have killed it. But you can see we grabbed that low limit from here, and we got that whole game right there. So that was nice. 23% ish, because we might have got bumped out this day. I'm not sure. My stop loss was like 1%, so we either got bounced out today or yesterday. So that's how we do it. That's the strategy. I showed you the cut pattern strategy. I pulled out some momentum stocks from the dashboard, and we reviewed the journal, and we reviewed a prior trade. We reviewed the account. We saw the gains of the account. We'll see how the market is doing. We can go down here and see. It looks like everything is negative. So we got negative, negative. So let's check trading view. Let's go to markets. Let's check out the indices. Let's do US indices just to see what's going on here. So we got a small gain on the S&P. Dow is down. NASDAQ small gain. So we got some small gains there. I was looking at some VKTX options actually. So if I can go to, and then if you don't believe the strategy works, we'll look at performance. So we look at performance, we'll do year to date. See if it works. So we got 12%. So 12%. S&P is at 9. Dow is at 8%. We did miss out on the emerging markets, international. That's what this is. International has 20% return, but we are doing better than the US. And then if we dig into each account, this one is holding me back. I think this one is bad. This one is negative 13%. Client account, this one is 25%. So crazy. Biddles Group, we've got let's see what we got in here. 18% return. Uh, IRA, 2%. So that one's not doing, that one's okay. And a Roth, we've got 15% return. And this is what you want. So hang with me. We try to get you better returns than the market. That's what we're trying to do. And I thank you for your time. I thank you for staying with me. I'm going to continue to go through this here to try to set up some more trades. And I will talk to you soon. And drop any comments in the chat if you have anything that you want me to review. I know I went kind of fast. We'll do some basics like parallel channel, cut pattern, flags. We'll do some support resistance and things like that. So we'll do a few videos for you. And but let me know what I can do. We have in that Wealth Builders Collective, where you can go right here and sign up. We've got people that are support resistance traders. We've got great option players, cover call options where they get premium. So it's very complex, advanced, but we put it to you in simple terms. And you learn as you go. You learn with your own comfortability. And then you develop your own strategy. Your strategy might not be my strategy. My strategy differs from the strategy that everybody on the call has. And so you'll gain significant insight into various strategies, how we make sure to preserve capital, how we make sure to reduce risk, and how we make sure to increase your returns as good as possible. Of course, the market overall has been good to us. It's been uptrending, and so we're taking advantage of some of that uptrend. Again, we're going to repeat the mantra before I leave. This is my path to wealth. I have the clarity to see it, the confidence to walk it, and the courage to build it. I will master my money. I will invest with wisdom. I will grow my business with purpose. I am building wealth that lasts for myself, my family, and my community. Today, I take one step closer to the life I envision. Thank you for hanging out with Biddles Group, and we'll see you soon.